week 3, episode 3 of 10 Weeks of Ted, and 2 more very important themes and takeaways for anyone who is following along, especially around high performance. And those would be the importance of team, right? And the impact of changing team members. And then the second one being, which it kind of spills into, is the notion of goal setting. So let's start with team. As many of you know, or heard last time, this introduction of this phenomenal player called Zava. He's just he's beyond in terms of skill, right? And so his contract was purchased by Richmond. He's come to the team and he has shown up with all the fanfare that one could expect, but he's delivered on that fanfare, right? He was originally described as a bit of a prima donna. I'm not seeing that right now. I mean, he's eccentric as hell, sure, but he's talented. And if anything, I find him incredibly grounded and focused on process and, flow state and all those bits that contribute to high performance. So I'm not seeing the prima donna bit, but I am seeing a wonderful example of what it means to grab hold of a team of people and run with it. And and the piece that I want you to consider is I'm going to use food as an analogy. I obviously am ex-rower. Food's a big part of my life and certainly was, but it would be like making a big bowl of porridge or oats or whatever the heck you call it, and then adding a spoonful of curry paste and then being surprised when you can taste curry when you eat the porridge, right? Anytime you change up a recipe and introduce a new flavor, there's going to be an impact, right? And the same is true with Zava. And even if the dish that you're comparing it to is something that already has a lot of spice and strong ingredients, like a chili, for example, if Zava is more chili peppers and you add more chili peppers and the dish gets hotter and you're surprised by that, then there's something you need to be a little more aware of how you're controlling your team, right? If you bring in someone as hot as Zava, you have to expect that there will be an impact. And naturally, we're seeing that. And we're seeing 2 examples of how to experience that impact. So the majority of the team have taken Zava's presence as inspiration, right? He's come in, he meditates before games, he does breathing exercises, he does all these, perhaps what many would consider flaky's not fair. All these kind of out there pre-game rituals. And although the team members looked at him strange in the beginning, they are now embracing that, right? They're embracing the rituals and the behaviors of Zava because they see the outcome and they go, well, hold on a second. There's got to be something to this. I'm going to embrace this guy and what he stands for and see what it does to my level of play. So the other guy, Jamie, who I would consider more of a prima donna, used to be the best player on the team. And now it's clearly Zava. And so Jamie is not embracing Zava, right? He is threatened by Zava. It's an egoic response to this new ingredient because now he's not in the limelight. He's not the one getting the attention. He's not the one scoring the goals. So it raises the point of what we refer to as the chase or embrace mode of performance, right? And goal setting. So in the very end of the show, Roy Kent offered or asked Jamie, what is it you want? Because Jamie was clearly pissed off by Zava's, impact and the way people sort of glom to him and oogle and ah. And he says, I want to be better than Zava. And so Roy says, well, I can make you better. I can coach you. And so Jamie is intrigued by that, right? He's excited by that. But the difference being is that his goal is a chase, right? I want to be better than Zava. So it's not an embrace. He's not being inspired by Zava. He's being threatened. And so his egoic response is to train and get better, which is awesome. But he's going to do it using a combative narrative, right? It's me against Zava. I'm going to get better to prove you wrong, to prove you that I'm the better player. So what this creates is, as I said, a combative narrative, which is a limiting paradigm around performance, but it also immediately draws a line and limits Jamie's ability to improve. Because what he has said, I want to be better than Zava. So that means there is a moment, if in fact he ever gets there, where Jamie might be better than Zava. And in that moment, he will have achieved his goal. And in that moment, he will now, there's nothing more to strive for, right? Okay, he's got there. Where in fact, he might actually be better than Zava and then some. And he might be capable of reaching that level someday if he didn't draw this line in the sand that said this is good enough. And so that's the distinguishing factor. Oakley, you're covered in branches in how to goal set, right? So you either draw a line in the sand and say, here, this is where I want to get to, because I want to get the attention, in Jamie's instance, or I'm going to embrace this inspiring person and I'm going to use their practices to help me get better along the way. Totally two different ways to embrace goal setting. And it'll be fascinating to see how the writers play that one out. Okay? So enjoy episode number 4, and we'll see you next week. And remember to take care of each other and careful with that goal setting. Okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.